Oh, it doesn't actually work until I press the record button. Hello, it is a time for another exciting I'm cold, let's uncold oneself. So, bit of kindling, and then some pomelo, what one can find in Lidl. So there's no thing else apart from, you see. You thought I was going to stumble over my words there. No thing but sticks and pomelo. I was on the phone with my dad, and he was thanking me for Christmas. So I was quite pleased with this. Look, I can't afford to give you any gifts, and I do at some point have to, drive from where he lives, which is a place in Devon, to Taunton, where Jaguar lives, and yeah. So I got my headlights, but no, he appreciated it because I did all the cooking, and well, that's not true. He put his Brussels sprouts in the steamer, and he'd steam those, and he'd do me some broccoli. Not too keen on broccoli. I don't mind it, but it's certainly nicer when it's got red wine gravy with it. Yeah. But then again, gravy is a good idea. I mean, if you're cooking a bird or a bit of roast lamb for Christmas, and you've got all those meat juices, just no, this is in danger of dying out. That's really good. So the pith of these, God, that stinks. That's not a nice stink. That's actually quite nasty. I was tempted to put some baby oil on this, but I think that's actually going to do quite good. Anyway, point being, you got those meat juices, you got the vegetable juices, put some gravy granules in it, and give it a whisk, and yeah, it's lovely. And then you put in a that's it. You put the wine or your alcoholic substance in to deglaze the pan and get off all the juicy little flavour nuggets. Is that the right term? Flavour nuggets? Those bits of crusted on yummy stuff like onions and such. Oh, maybe that was the whiffy smell. Now, I'm not naming names, but I went into Oxford a few days ago and met one of our well, I say yeah, I suppose he is a friend to many of you guys. And we went for a drive for Oxford, and both of us haven't been to the city centre for a while. It's barricaded. You can't go this way, you can't go that. If you go down this road, you'll get a fine. So I went halfway down it, realised that there were barricades at the other end, so I couldn't get the car through. So whilst all the cyclists were going past, I very slowly reversed because I know full well just how suicidal cyclists can be, especially when it's right at night and you've got a guy wearing all black, his bicycle's black, and he's got no lights. I was like, well, okay, you're brave. But yeah, sort of had to drive all around to get to another place. But we stopped at Wendy's and had a burger, and must admit, I really like the Dave Triple. That's a nice and satisfying, that is. And it's not silly prices unlike some other places. Now, as I'm talking to you, I've got I've got my feet on the concrete exclusion zone around it. And in the exclusion zone, you're definitely not supposed to have wood because that's a fire hazard. But Mr. Fire Inspector, every night when I go to bed, I take all of these logs out, I place them in my basket, and I put them outside. And every night, every day, when I come back, I stack them all carefully so they're exactly the same way round and put them back on there so that they can dry off and they're ready for use. Speaking of which, I'll place one on there and I'll put that there, and I'll put that one, I'll put it there. There we go. And I think, yeah, that's good. I haven't snuffed out the thing. Well, that's quite a good fire, that is. You know, we're only 5 minutes 44 seconds into this little ramble, and I just started it using the skin of one pomelo and a couple of sticks, and I think we're going to get ourselves a fire. Now, I say I think we're going to get ourselves a fire. That bit I have no doubt of. What I do have some concerns over is this corner here. See that? That's going to jar. I can't close the door on it. Now, if I close the door as much as I can, nearly, very nearly, I'll open up the vent so it can breathe good and easy. I'll let that burn down and then that'll be quite good. I was thinking to myself about Stephen J. James's his external coal boiler, and really in a lot of ways that's very it's very good because you don't have to worry about carbon monoxide poisoning or getting ashes inside. And actually, for that matter, in terms of chimney sweeping, I haven't looked at the full chimney setup, so Stephen, perhaps you could do another. I'm much like myself. You've got your stage, and you don't really want to see people what's behind the stage. But if you could show a few more details about it, I'd be very interested to see, what your chimney and flue looks like. Because do you do the chimney sweeping yourself, or do you hire a professional to come in and do it? Because I imagine, what with it being an external boiler, maintenance is quite easy. The disadvantage is any of the heat that produces has it can only be conveyed inside via hot water. And you say it's central heating. Now, does it do hot water as well? Will it boil your water, or is it like the boiler we have here, where it will do hot water for the radiators, that's central heating, and it will, any like heat left over will warm up the boiler, but unless you have it absolutely furnace-like, it's not going to get the water to any hot temperature. It'll get it to lukewarm. And then when one of us wants a bath or a shower, we turn the immersion heater on and use electricity to bring up the rest of the way. I suppose the advantage of that is it's always going to be expensive using electricity to heat up the water, but if you've got the coal there, and you're heating up water from, say, 25 degrees up to 60 or 70, whatever it's supposed to be, that's a lot better than having water that's nearly at 0 degrees as it is now, and heating that up. So you save yourself quite a few kilowatts doing that. So yeah, how do you get hot water in your house? Do you have it always on? And I was surprised when you said that you don't use gas anymore, because if I could, and I found there is a gas main out there, so it would have been possible to connect this house to gas. It would have been very nice. We could have had a gas refrigerator, a gas oven, and we could have had a gas tumble dryer, because there are times when it's too wet outside to put the clothes on the line. Mind you, if it isn't those stage, we do have an electric tumble dryer, but personally, I'd rather just put the clothes up on the clothes horse and dry it in front of the fire. There are times when I will drape my underwear on where my arm is at the moment and just have it warm in front of the fire because it does the job. Let's have a surface reading. Because, I always like to back up the story with some figures. So, here's my